Hello again, it's Nisha from the Southern Oklahoma Library System, and today I just want to show you how to do a basic search using our Ancestry Database. But I want to start with letting you know that this is a census year, and since you all count on the Southern Oklahoma Library System for your needs, I want to make sure that you're also counted for the 2020 census. So if you would go to my2020census.gov, it should only take about 5 minutes of your time, but we're going to go ahead and get started. And the first thing I want to show you is here at the top, it says charts and forms. Go ahead and click there. And this is different ways to track the information that you're finding. The database that we have does not provide the opportunity to create your own family tree, so you will actually have to keep handwritten documents. Go ahead and click on the Ancestry chart right here at the top. This is the one that I like to use the most, mostly because it tells you the information that you need to be keeping track of. Date of birth, date of death, where they were born, the date of marriage and place will also help. By knowing the places, it will allow you to look on different census in different states. And so we're going to go ahead and go back to the database, and we're going to click Home and click Begin Searching. I am actually going to use Rue McClanahan as my example. One, because she's from Hilton, and two, I love the Golden Girls. So we know that she was born in Oklahoma. And it's always better to choose from the drop-down list. And we're going to say that I don't know when she was born, so we're going to go ahead and take a search and see what we find. So obviously there are going to be yearbook photos that are going to be available. Sometimes they will also have informations of old addresses, especially if you're still living. Those are the only documents you're going to find on yourself. But for someone who is no longer with us, the options will be different. So first off, we want to click Global Find a Grave Index. So this is actually a really great website. It's called findagrave.com. And we can go ahead and click the URL, and it will take us directly to that website. And oftentimes it's going to give you a birth date, a death date, and oftentimes an obituary. So sometimes you can actually find information about a family member by looking at this website. And if you scroll down, you're going to see that her family members are actually linked to this website. You've got her father, William, and her mother, and the spouse. So with that information, we want to go ahead and write down that she was born in 1931 in February. And we're going to go back and edit our search since now we have her birth date. Go ahead and click All Results right here. And then click Edit Search and put in the year that she was born, which is 1934. If you're not 100% sure about the date, you can actually click these bars right here. You don't ever want all of them to be over on exact because that's really going to limit your search, but you can move them a little bit at a time. So if we know that she was born in 1934, if you just scroll this over, it'll show you a gap of 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, or this exact year that we're looking for. Well, we're going to go ahead and keep it the plus or minus 5. And we're going to click Update. And now our results have been narrowed. And we're going to go ahead and click on this 1940 since it's the first one that showed up. If you want to search by category, you can just click Census and Voter List, birth or marriage, depending on what information you're exactly looking for. If you click on Family Trees, it will show you family trees that other people have built using the Ancestry.com website. Some of those will be viewable, some of those will be not. Let's go ahead and click here. And now we see that the information is matching. One thing I want to point out is the different variations of the name. So if you have a family member that you're looking for try their legal birth name and maybe a nickname that they went by, because when the census was done, it wasn't done by asking the person how to spell their name. It was spelled however the person taking the census thought it should be spelled. So make sure that you're looking for those name variations, and don't be too concerned if they're not all exactly correct. But we see that her birthplace was in Oklahoma, that she was living in Hilton in Carter County in Oklahoma, and now we see her father, her mother, and then her siblings listed. If you ever see this 7/12, it actually means that she was 7.5. That's just how the date was described, or transcribed, excuse me. But let's go ahead and click on William, who is her father. And we see that he also has variations of the name. Bill is also a popular nickname for William. We see that he was born in New Mexico in 1909. And it tells you what he did for an occupation, how much high school he completed. These questions change from census to census, so make sure that you're paying attention to everything that is listed. So let's go ahead and take what we know about William and do a new search. So go back to all results. And click new search. And let's go ahead and type in what we know about William. We know he was born in New Mexico. Select that from that drop-down list. And it was approximately 1909. Let's do another search. And so this is the record we already looked at. This is one from 1930, which would have put him at the age of 20. It shows that he's single. So let's go ahead and click on that one. And I actually read her biography, so I actually know that this is her grandfather and grandmother. So you can click on each one, and it's going to list the same information in the record. It's going to tell you that he was born in Missouri. His parents were born in Virginia and Missouri. So when you're looking for records and you're doing searches, make sure that you're not just putting in Oklahoma because they lived in Oklahoma. Maybe try where their parents lived, because people tend to move back and forth. And you would just write down this information, do a new search. But real quick, I want to show you this one again, which is the first one we looked at. And actually click on her mother. She also has a lot of different name variations, but this bottom one right here is the most important, because maiden names are difficult to find unless you have a family member that knows them. So if you scroll down to the bottom of this record, you're going to see this other person that lives in the household that has that same last name. If you click on it, it shows that she's a sister-in-law to the head of the household, which means this would be Rue's aunt. So now you have a maiden name. So you could actually go back and do a whole new search with her mother's information, and instead of having McClanahan, you would put in Medeiros. Pardon me if I did not pronounce that correctly. But you just repeat this step over and over every time you find a new member, and you just keep building your tree, and just try different types of searches and moving these bars. We know that he lived in New Mexico because he was born there, but you could also try doing Oklahoma. He had a parent born in Missouri, so you could also try Missouri, and just trying different variations and looking at different records. Even if it doesn't look like it's right, go ahead and take a glance at it. For instance, we could look at 1910 and see that he was 21 in the last one, so he was just born, so 1910 he would have been about a year old. And now we see that the JE from the last record is listed as Jesse E. McClanahan. So make sure that you are double checking to make sure that this information is correct. You can also always click on the actual handwritten census. Over here on the right hand side and about the middle of the screen, you can zoom in. And then you're just gonna drag it. And oftentimes if you scroll over, it's actually gonna list the names that were written however they were transcribed. It says head of household, wife, son, and this one's actually brother-in-law. So when you look at it, it says WMW Copeland, which means that Fanny's maiden name is also Copeland. So when you go to look for her again, you want to substitute her married name for her maiden name. And this is just kind of an over and over cycle. If you hit a dead end, I would recommend searching for someone else and seeing what you can find there.